Hey there, my Design Diva lovelies on Facebook. Mwah, you guys look great. And hello there to you, my Design Divas on Instagram. Mwah, you guys look great too. So good to be here with you. It's always good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers just like you who may not be getting the exact results in your home that you want. So you're getting frustrated. You're Pinteresting yourself to pieces and you've got idea books coming out the yin yang for house, yada, 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 yada. Yet your results are still falling flat. Makes you totally normal because if interior design results were about just looking at pictures and making it happen, everybody's home would look a lot better than it actually does. So what I do for you every day of the year, actually, I coach and teach interior design to design lovers just like you through my amazing online courses. And in addition to doing that, you can see that I've got some fabric books behind me because I actually own and run a luxury interior design company based here in the United States in the Philadelphia region. And we do all kinds of upscale luxury design, working anywhere from single room projects to multi-room projects to a whole home. And we specialize really in large homes and design builds and so forth and renovation. So we know how to do it all. And for some crazy reason, I'm really good at taking what seems like it should be nebulous design information, design theory, and I break it down into very simple strategies and pathways. It's very clean, which is why design lovers really enjoy our online courses. And I like to give back to the community, which is why every Tuesday I am here with you, 4 p.m. Eastern, and we come out here. I teach a lesson on something, take your questions on that lesson, and we kind of have a little girl time together. Like I said, I am so glad to be here with you every week. I am particularly glad now because you have no idea what's going on at the design studio right now. We are onboarding a new, I hate to say it, a new rendering program. Mama is not enjoying this. I've been swearing like a maniac for the last hour and a half. My mother, I know, is probably rolling over in her grave multiple times. Definitely feeling kind of frustrated. Yeah, so it's so good to be here with you, not on the computer right now. So speaking of swearing and maybe some off-color language, I'm going to tell you right now, we're talking about the furniture world. I love furniture manufacturers. I love furniture stores, but you cannot talk about the furniture world without using the word crappy and conjugating it into crappy, crappier, and crappiest. So if hearing those words is going to somehow make your debutante curls wilt or take your ball gown and make it spontaneously combust, you definitely do not want to watch this Facebook Live, because I got to tell you, we have seen more train wrecks with people ordering furniture where a store dropped the ball, where a manufacturer dropped the ball, and that's why I really want to talk to you today about purchasing furniture the wise way. In fact, in the description, I've said, if you have had a furniture purchasing nightmare and you can share your story in one sentence, girlfriend, do it, because I will read it out and you are probably going to help other design divas. So I asked the question in my title. I don't know why I'm playing with this paper clip. I just broke it. Nervous energy from this program I've been working with. I asked the question in my title, what do you hate purchasing more? Case goods, which is wood furniture, or upholstery? So if you want to fill that in as you're joining, that would be great. What do you hate purchasing more? Furniture that is upholstered or wood furniture? So I'm not talking about the creative side, how to know what goes with what. We'll talk about that later. But I'm talking about the purchasing side, being a smart consumer. Here's the downside of the furniture world. All furniture costs more than every design consumer wishes it did, wants it to, or thinks it should. Furniture is big. It is bulky. It's bulky to make. It's bulky to ship. A lot of complexity is involved in its manufacture, not to mention then its transport. So furniture costs a lot. And in order to land furniture at a price at which consumers want to see it land, what has to happen is manufacturers have to start stripping out manufacturing quality. What do I mean? Making things faster, using lower skilled labor, using lower quality components, types of wood, stuffing, foam, all of it. So I remember talking to the wonderful Kathy Kuo, who owns Kathy Kuo Home. And Kathy started out as a furniture designer. She studied it at RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. And she and I were talking, and she said something wonderful, and I have quoted her a million times. And she said, Donna, the important thing for design consumers, furniture consumers, to know and understand is that in the furniture world, you will never find something for less. You will find something less for less. And that is very true. You will not find something for less. You will find something less for less. Something has been taken out of it. So let's talk about, and guys, I am not telling you that you need to shop above your budget, but if you are shopping at the entry-level price points, you have to shop with those gorgeous design diva eyeballs of yours wide open. Because, you know, you talk about furniture in terms of good, better, best. And on the downside of that slope, there's crappy, crappier, and crappiest. And that's what starts to happen as your price point starts to drop. The way the product will perform starts to backfire on you as well. So with upholstery, let's talk. And I'm curious, what do you guys hate shopping for more? Do you hate shopping for upholstery more or wood furniture? What makes you more nervous in terms of, you know, what, I'm spending all this money, is it going to be good quality? So I'm getting a lot of upholstery. Linda is saying, I had the worst experience buying a sectional at Bassett in Florida, designer that was trying to squeeze more into my living room than it could handle. Okay, so that's a creative problem. We're going to talk about that in a bit. I'm talking about furniture quality that backfires on you. You own it for a couple months or a year or two, and it looks like something that lived through 12 frat parties. Okay, so let's talk about what happens to upholstery if you're not careful, and what happens to wood furniture. So for wood furniture, the lower you go on the price point scale, the less quality you have in terms of performance of finish as well as components. What do I mean by components? So, you know, are those drawers going to open smoothly or not, or easily at all? Will they hold weight? Will cabinet doors close well over time, or will they start to warp and go out of alignment? Will veneers start to chip? So when you look at wood furniture, remember, you can have stained furniture where the wood grain absorbs the color. That is a higher quality and higher cost manufacturing process. You need more expert labor to do that, but it's also more time consuming to stain a piece of wood a number of times and then do a beautiful finish coat on it, as opposed to spraying on a coat of paint and making it brown and making it look like brown wood, right? Or painted furniture is so popular now in a gray or a color. That is way lower cost to produce than a stained piece. But even within that, how many coats of paint is that manufacturer applying? What type of finishing process are they using? How long are they letting it dry before they shrink wrap it and pack it out for its long journey overseas if you're in the US, and this is a product that's coming from Vietnam, from China, from India, from Pakistan? How long has that product been allowed to dry? The longer the manufacturer process, the more costly it is for manufacturers. But whipping things out quickly gets them out the door fast. They can produce more, get more dollars in from retailers. So when you wrap a piece of furniture too soon after it's been finished, when you pull that wrapping off, now you're starting to, some of the finish is being compromised as well. Corners can chip and look pretty dog-eared by the time it even gets to your home. Is anybody trying to screw you? No, but this is what happens when you start to pull manufacturing quality out of the story in order to land things at a particular price that a manufacturer and a retailer believe that you want to pay for it. Because again, you don't get something less for less. You don't get something for less, you get something less for less. So with wood furniture, when you are buying things that are veneered, you should know at the upper end of the furniture world where we practice in our company, a lot of product is veneered because the precious woods, the costly woods, the the more rare woods, it would be way too expensive to build a product entirely out of that. So it's very normal to have veneers overlaid of, beautiful mahoganies and walnuts and inlays of zebra wood or whatever. But the issue becomes how many microns of thickness are those veneered layers. The lower the price point, the crappier the manufacturing process, the thinner those veneers become, right? So what do you do if you're shopping on a budget and you've got to buy wood furniture? Well, always think first about how often is this product going to be used. If it's an end table, it's not going to get a lot of use, or it's in a secondary bedroom as a nightstand, okay, that's not going to worry as much. But if it's a dresser drawer in your master bedroom or your son or daughter's room, and that drawer is going to be opened and closed a lot, ideally, it would be great to have full extension glides on your drawers. It would be great to have very well kiln-dried wood. Wood needs to dry down for at least 6 months in the upper end world where we practice, so that it won't warp in your home by continuing to dry down. So if you've ever seen a lower cost manufacturer's cabinet and wondered why, well, initially the doors close well, but then eventually they kind of go out of alignment, that means that your wood is drying down in the conditions of your home, drying down at different rates, and that's why things go out of alignment. Some of the best manufacturers in the world will season their wood and dry it down for 6 to 8 months before even going into manufacture for it. And there's also wood quality. Wood is graded into A grade, B grade, C grade, and so forth. The higher end manufacturers are using the best grades of wood, and then again, it's been seasoned and dried down. So that's just a discussion of being wise when it comes to wood furniture. And I want you to also be careful with mirror finished furniture. Some manufacturers do it really well. Others, those mirror finishes tend to chip very, very easily. So just be honest with yourself. What kind of performance am I expecting out of this piece? So let's talk about upholstery. And I see some questions are coming in, which is great. Upholstery. What to look for in upholstery? Upholstery is a lot easier to fake than wood furniture. You can take a bunch of garbage and just make it look like a sofa and throw fabric around it. It'll look like a chair. It'll look like a sofa. But it's the guts inside that not only affect comfort, but wear and last. So with wood furniture, as well as upholstered furniture, what grade wood are they using, and has this wood been dried down well? So my daughter, for example, just moved into her first apartment in Manhattan, and she purchased a sofa from Wayfair, about $500 or $600 sofa. That sofa has not and cannot be made to the same standard as a $3,000 sofa or a $5,000 sofa. I'm not saying you have to spend $3 or $5 for a sofa, but I am saying that what you see for that $600 price point cannot possibly be the same animal as what you see when you're at the higher price points. What's the difference? At the higher price points, you're seeing well-dried wood, so the frames aren't warping. You're using highest density foam for your seat cushions. You're using 8-weight hand tying for your seat cushions. You're using coils inside your seat cushions that are then wrapped in foam, and sometimes then wrapped in foam and poly and maybe even a little bit of down. So they have comfort, but also a lot of spring. Interestingly, too, as Ann and I were looking at these sofas, the sofas got smaller and smaller. They were, the average sofa for comfort is between 39 and 41 inches deep. This Wayfair sofa is 32 inches deep. That's a big difference, 32 inches deep versus 39 or 41. That's a way to cut back on the manufacturing side. Less materials, less weight. You don't get something for less, you get something less for less. Does she need to shop within her budget? She sure does. But she's doing it with her eyes wide open. She said, Mom, I hope this sofa's going to last. This is what I can afford. So back to things to look for with sofas. It's the cushion quality inside, and also it's the fabric quality. I remember when Steve and I were first married, we bought a sofa from a pretty well-known retailer, and the salesperson helped us. I didn't know a lot about fabric at that time. I was not a trained or practicing designer. And she had us put something on our sofas that within a few years, it was becoming threadbare. It was in a family room. Just didn't wear well. It was not the right durability of fabric. but you better believe it was a lower cost fabric. So again, that Wayfair $500 or $600 sofa is not using and cannot use and should not use at that price point the same quality materials for manufacture that you would see in a $3,000 sofa or a $4,000 or $5,000 sofa or a $6,000 sofa. Okay, so and as with case goods or wood furniture, when upholstery is in the lower price points, it's generally made more quickly, lower skilled labor using lower quality building blocks, all right, woods and all the finish, all the stuffing and the springs. Maybe things are being just glued instead of glued and dowel jointed. Now, I don't want to bore you to tears on some of these manufacturing issues, but the higher end tends to protect from warping more so that you get these sofas that last for a really long time. And at the lower end, you get sofas where cushions start to compress. So watch out for that. Watch out for lumpy, bumpy backs, lumpy, bumpy arms, but also cushions that start to look flat as pancakes or like they've been through 12 frat parties and yet it's only a year-old kind of product. So what is the answer to all of this? Shop beyond your budget? No, definitely not. But be really wise about who you are shopping with. What is their customer service policy? Google them before you shop with them. Google manufacturers if you can. Will they stand? Will those retailers stand by you? I know it sounds like I'm picking on Wayfair. I'm really not. Anna also ordered a faux marble cocktail table. What is a faux marble cocktail table? It looks to me like it's been shrink wrapped in a thick plastic coating for the top of this marble, a faux marble. Adorable, but it came with a big gouge in it. Wayfair is being terrific. They're replacing it. But I don't know if you've heard. Steve, how many people are just laid off from Wayfair? Upwards of a couple thousand. Was it 10,000? A few hundred, pardon me. Sorry, Wayfair. I don't know why they've had to do these layoffs, but I suspect that when you're dealing with lower end product, you have to do these returns. So in Anna's case, they're sending out a whole new cocktail table for her because the first one didn't ship right. It's damaged. That's costly to a retailer. So the retailers that are hugging the bottom of the price point, they got a tough job because you as a consumer expect a lot, and you should. You expect quality. But I'm telling you right now, you have to align your price point with your quality expectation. That's that, and know who you're shopping with so you know how to do problem resolution and what to expect when all that's happening. If you want to learn more about how to wisely shop for furniture on the side that I'm talking about, as well as the creative side, then you definitely should take a look at my course, Decorating Genius. 7 Simple Steps to Great Rooms, because we cover it all when you're starting a room from scratch or maybe starting 20% in and then having to go full bore for the other 80%. You'll definitely find that really useful. In fact, you can find a code, a 20% off coupon code on our blog at the Interior Design Advocate for that online course. And my Design Divas are doing amazing things to their home with that course. And if you would rather just try a free workshop, you can check out the link that I've put in here, which I'll teach you about design in general, and I'll talk a little bit more about the Decorating Genius online course. So there you go. So I want to hear from you, Design Divas. What's on your mind? What do you hate shopping for more? Upholstery or wood furniture? Do you have a nightmare story with furniture? And if you do have a question about furniture shopping, I'm happy to answer you. If your question is off topic, I probably won't take it unless we have a ton of time at the end. And if your question requires, for some reason, that I look at a picture, then I also won't take your question because I would be doing you a great disservice to try to answer you with pantomime design. Okay, so I'm getting hellos from people. People are weighing in with what they dislike more. Carmen is saying sagging, tired-looking sofas. That's what she dreads and what she's dealt with. Susan is saying, I really dread shopping for upholstery, but evidently I've chosen well. I have the sectional that will not die. That's good. Good. You bought quality. That's good. Angie is saying, I bought a $2,500 leather sofa. The leather seat cushions constantly slide forward. Have to adjust them multiple times a day. Oh, that is a nuisance. I'm curious about what is on the deck of that. So if you, Angie, if this is your sofa and this is your cushion, underneath here, this is called the deck. So I'm wondering what's on the deck that's not providing some grip to those sofa cushions. Interesting thing about leather that Angie, since she mentions that, when you guys sit on furniture in a store and you can change the fabric, if you sit on a sofa that's covered in leather and then you change it to fabric, the sit's probably going to feel different. Leather tends to give a stiffer sit. Think about it. That's not a fabric that gives as much as, let's say, a woven cotton or a velvet or I don't know, a linen blend or so forth. So Susan, so Angie, that's a bugger on those on that leather sofa thing. I wish I had an answer for you. Maybe you want to try contacting a local upholsterer and see if there's something they can recommend. This would be costly, but if they rebuild the underside of your cushions to a cloth, that would stop the slide, but then you couldn't ever turn them over. There you go. Debbie is saying, upholstery pieces are harder to buy from the internet. Agree. I refuse to buy upholstery without trying it in person. You know, Debbie, that's a really important and interesting point. I have to tell you that in the interior design world where I practice, we are working on multiple rooms, whole home, whole floor. It is virtually impossible for clients to sit in every piece of furniture because we're purchasing so much on their behalf. So I think if you can at least sit in the manufacturer, if not the exact same model sofa, and you can say, okay, this is the model that I like, and it's 41 inches deep, and I'm sitting in another sofa of theirs, which is also 41 deep, so I can get a sense of how their 41 deep sofas sit. So it is impossible to sit in everything. And if it's a room that doesn't get sat in a lot, like a living room, or if it's a chair going into a bedroom, I think there you could feel pretty safe purchasing without sitting on it first. But if it's a space where comfort is uber important to you, like a family room or a living room that you sit in often, I totally understand you're needing to sit in it first. So Dawn is saying, can you give us tips for how to pick out which filling to choose when sitting on sofas or chairs in the store in the mid to high price range? Oh, Dawn! Just yesterday, I was cleaning through our company's storage area, and I have these amazing pillow inserts that show cutaways. Darn it. Oh, darn it. Ooh, sorry. Steve, do you want to text Katie and see if she can bring those inserts up? Can't text Katie. Oh, well. Yeah, they're, where they're in the storage room. You walk in and there's that standing floating shelfie thing. They're at the top there. There are 3 of them. They're square. Kravitz gave them to me. Okay, so that they're cutaways that show you what these look like. The questions are flying in. I'm getting nervous now. Okay, so what to look for. If you can afford, the budget will allow for you to do springs in a sofa cushion, a coil spring that is then wrapped in foam. Going to give you a great sit. It's going to spring back really, really, really well. If you like a cushier sit and you want to do that and then do a layer of down around it, no problem. Please be warned, all sofa cushions, I don't care what price point you're shopping in, should be flipped. If you're down, every 3 months. If you're not down, at least every 6 months, right? Because sofa cushions are taking all your weight, so you definitely want to give them a little bit of rest. I flip my own cushions before photo shoots. We flip cushions, we pound cushions to make them, look great. That's me pounding. I don't know, that's my pounding thing. So, so that's what I would look for your fill. If you can possibly, the budget will support you doing a spring insert that is then foam wrapped or foam wrapped and down wrapped. That's my favorite all-time cushion. Manufacturers like Kravitz, they make that their standard cushion. Other manufacturers might use that as an upgrade. If you can't do that, if your manufacturer isn't offering that, I'd at least talk about, try to find the most high-density foam that they're working with. And I also still love 8-way hand tying. I think it makes for a great, resilient piece of furniture. I like it better than the sinuous curve, but, there you go. Manufacturers, I keep getting all kinds of things told to me about sinuous. Oh, yay! Greatest hubs in the world. Okay, so this, all right, that's just all down, right? That's going to be really mushy by the end of the day, and you're going to really want to do a lot of flipping. But this, so here's an example. These are springs, coiled springs. Inside that coiled spring it's wrapped into a batting. Then it is wrapped in foam. wrapped in some batting here off to the side, and then of course it's wrapped finally in its muslin cover or in its fabric cover. The other alternative is here's something else that could be lower cost. It's just foam, but it has a layer of down on top. So it's not down all the way through. See the difference there? So you're starting to get a sense of how the different materials start to add to your price, add to your comfort, but also change the way a product is going to perform. Thank you so much, Steve. How great is he for doing that? Thank you, Steve Hoffman. Okay. So Sharon is saying, what's up with cushions that are sewn in so you cannot flip them? I assume that's poor quality. No, that's actually a design style. So there is a sofa. I want you to Google this when we're done. Look up hard back sofas, okay? So, tight back, not hard back, tight back sofas. A tight back sofa is a great looking tailored silhouette, and it has no cushion at the back. You can also have something called attached back cushions, and those they look like freestanding cushions, but they're actually tacked at the back. So you're right, Sharon, you cannot flip them. Why do manufacturers do that? So that you don't ever have to adjust the cushions, and so that the sofa remains looking very tailored and crisp. I happen to like a hardback. I keep saying this wrong, I'm sorry. My brain's fried from this stinking program I've been trying to learn. I happen to like a tight back sofa for certain styles and for certain lifestyles as well. It has no cushion at the back. I think they're good looking and they're comfortable too. There's no flipping involved. So your seat cushions should flip. But again, I believe that this $600 sofa that our daughter just purchased, I think it's a tight back at the back and a tight back seat. So I think there's no flipping happening, and that absolutely is for manufacturing cost purposes. So great. Oh, for heaven's sakes, I'm getting calls. No, thank you. All right, so that's definitely something to think about there. All righty, so let me see what's happening here on Facebook. I'm going to grab a little drink here. Too bad it's just water, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Ginger is saying, wood furniture seems to be confusing. Is laminate good or bad? I don't think it's either. I think it depends upon your style, depends upon the quality that you're purchasing. Modern interior, love laminate. I think laminates and veneers and lacquers are awesome. Are there best places to find solid wood furniture? Ginger, I don't know what your budget is. I don't know where you live. You want to know manufacturers I love for gorgeous solid wood for beautiful furniture? I think Hickory Chair does a gorgeous piece of wood furniture. I think Kravet does too. I think Vanguard can do some good looking stuff in the upper middle price point, but like the real Century, although Century's starting to manufacture more of their stuff overseas as well, guys. A lot of manufacturers moving overseas, that's not a bad thing as long as they're really protecting the quality of the manufacturing process like we've just been talking about. So Anna Von Simpson is saying, hi Donna, I just like buying upholstery. Yes, Eve, you almost feel like a sitting duck when you don't know what you're shopping for and what to do, because it's costing you a lot of money. You want to make sure this product is not only going to look good from a creative perspective, but that it's going to last well in your home. Teresa is saying, I just had my Cheryl chairs and sofa reupholstered. They came out beautifully, but picking out the fabric was a chore. I chose a 120 double weight and a 65 double weight, which I know is overkill. Those are pretty intense fabrics for sure. Teresa, for anybody who's taken my Decorating Genius course, you know that double rubs has to do with how durable a fabric is. They literally test it by abrading it, rubbing against it. I will not put anything into a family room, a high-use area that is less than a 35,000 double rub. But yes, I have put 60,000 double rubs in. What wouldn't you do if there are fabrics out there that are 15,000 double rubs? Those maybe you put in a living room that never gets sat in, it's like a look but don't touch piece of furniture, or 20,000 or even a 25,000 double rub I wouldn't put into a family room. So good job, Teresa. I appreciate that you did the overkill. Heidi is saying, my mattress was coil wrapped and it got stuck. I heard not to buy that anymore. I disagree. I don't know what happened to your mattress, Heidi, but the very best upholstery that we sell to our clients or bring to our clients is absolutely coil insert if their budget will allow, and certain budgets don't, but when it does, that's what we love to see our clients in. I own that as well, and on sofas that I have in my home that don't have that in them, the cushions start to compress, and as they compress, the wrapped cord starts to move, the box of the cushion starts to move. Just doesn't stay tailored looking, and I like things to stay very tailored. Ginger lives near High Point. Great. She's going to check them out. Great. Barbara is saying, where can I shop for unique furniture? Not interested in having what everyone else has. I'm interested in transitional and different on your list for furniture in your Decorating Genius system in the design. Okay. I think that inside Decorating Genius, I don't know if you're in that course, Barbara, but I do list really good resources for furniture. We're heading to the furniture market in a couple of weeks, and we're always looking for different things to bring to a client. I met with a terrific client late last week, and they love what we brought them for their presentation, because they said, I don't want the same thing everybody has. The advent of Instagram makes it also accessible and interesting, but the problem is you start to get all of these Me Too silhouettes and Me Too interiors. So I think if you're not in the design trade, I think it can be difficult to find things that are different. You know who I think does a nice job on her website? I mentioned Kathy Quo before. I think Kathy does a really good job curating furniture and finding some pieces that are different. But here's what I would say to you, Barbara. I was talking to a clothing stylist at an event a couple of weeks ago, and she said, Donna, I go into, women's homes, I look at their closets, and all women's closets seem to fall into two categories. They either have lots of basics with no, star players, or they have all star players and no basics to combine them with. I think that when you're putting together a great looking room, I think you don't always need some of those great basics. A great track arm sofa is like the LBD, the little black dress for many design styles. And then it's some interesting case goods that you add around it. And certain pieces in the room are quieter and some move forward more. But I think if everything moves forward, unless you're doing, boho or maximalism, I think it can get a little noisy. So I would look for, where are my opportunities to do something a little different? And maybe you want to go a little more conservative and moderate, Barbara, on your sofa, so that, or and let some other pieces move forward in the room, or what I'm assuming you're doing a living room. That's not a fair assumption, but hopefully that helps you. But you want brand names. I think Eichholz is doing some really interesting stuff. Don't know if you can get them near you. Just looked at Nuevo for some more modern things. I thought they had some interesting things. Trying to think of who else I'm looking at down at High Point, who I think is interesting. Something else pops into my head, Barbara, I will let you know. Okay. Mia Mago is asking about furniture placement. I'm not going to answer that question. We're talking more about quality, so let's do that. Oh, what the heck? I'll answer the question. Can I put chairs under a TV that hangs on the wall? I don't like it. I'd like to see it, but I wouldn't do it as a designer. Dawn is saying, can you give us tips on how to, we talked about that. Sharon said, I want to buy a white something. It's by Sarah, and they say it's microfiber, but can look like linen. The warranty says it covers everything. Should I trust? I don't know who this manufacturer or store is. I took my Serena and Lily. I don't know who Sarah is. Very few manufacturers give you warranties on furniture. The only upholstery manufacturer that I know that gives an amazing warranty happens to be Kravet, and they warranty their frames for the lifetime of the original owner. That is quite a warranty. However, do they warranty the fabric forever? No. The cushion forever? Mm-mm. Because something, on behalf of furniture stores and fabric manufacturers, once a piece of furniture is in your home, they have no idea how you're using it. They don't know if your 12-year-old grandson is jumping on it or having a wrestling match on it. They don't know if the dog threw up on it. They don't know how you're using, possibly abusing your furniture. I remember being called to an amazing client's home. Love this family to bits. They called. They were very upset because there was a pull in the sofa fabric. I felt terrible. It was like 3 months old. And the day that we were there waiting for our upholsterer that we hired privately to come in and look at this problem and fix the problem, their little girl said, "Hi, Miss Donna. Are you here to fix the sofa?" I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "That happened when our babysitter was tickling us and her shoe buckle caught on the sofa fabric and it pulled the fabric." Now, I shouldn't be liable for the fact that there was a wrestling match and a shoe buckle pulling on that fabric. So I thought, being taken advantage of a little bit here. Okay. Fool me once, okay. But that's why furniture manufacturers don't give you big warranties, because they don't know how you at your end are using your furniture. And I think that that's fair. I really do. Steve's telling me we're running out of time. Last 2 questions. Okay, where can I buy couches? Nella wants to know that. Nella, I don't know what your budget is, girlfriend, so can't even answer that question. Let's see, but I would say this: buy the best you can afford, and I would buy with furniture stores that you know, like, trust, so that if something does go wrong, you've got somebody to go back to. And also, I would say too, be wise before you plunk your money down. I teach more about this inside of Decorating Genius, but there are questions to ask. Who's my contact point on this order if there's a problem? What if there's a problem on delivery day? I'm not happy with something. Then what? And please be present for your deliveries so that you can inspect the furniture before you let people leave. Because if there's a problem with the furniture, you don't let the delivery guys leave. You go, wait. We got to call customer service. There's a problem on that cushion, or there's a problem on that arm, or there's a problem on that, I don't know, the surface of that faux marble coffee table. Carmen wants to know the best fabrics for cat claws. Metal furniture. Fabric doesn't want to be scratched by animals. So honest to goodness, I can't even say leather is safe, because if you're buying lower cost leather that's been pieced, leather can show scratch marks from animals also. I think if you're an animal lover, and we're former pet owners as well, I think you just have to decide what's more important to me. Do I want my cute little fur ball, or do I want to have, a Pinterest gorgeous home? If you want a Pinterest gorgeous home, may not work if your dog is, likes to dig and scratch things and, lifts his leg on furniture like our dog was doing. It didn't work out so well for the dog. Or if your cat's a scratcher, there's only so much furniture can handle. It's fabric, it's wood, it scratches, it tears, it rips. So Carmen, I would just go with I would avoid chenilles. I would avoid, please, no silk. And I would try to go for the heaviest abrasion rating, and I would watch fabric that looks like it could pick something with a heavy loop to it that looks like a little sharp nail could pull. Hopefully that helps you. What's the best way to clean upholstery? I don't personally clean upholstery. I like to hire the guy. And when I hire the guy to clean the upholstery, most upholstery cleaners will test a teeny small patch to make sure that there's not going to be a problem. They'll take a small underside of a cushion, perhaps, or they'll move the sofa off the wall and try maybe a little corner at the back of the wall as well. Okay, my lovely. So I want to let you know what we're talking about next time. It's a good one. We talked about the difficulty of furniture shopping in this Facebook Live. And by the way, if you missed any piece of it, you can always find it on YouTube. Find us on YouTube, The Interior Design Advocate. Of course, this Facebook Live will stay up on Facebook for about 24 hours-ish. I don't know, something like that. Move down in the feed. And on Insta as well, it'll stay live for a while. The next week, we're talking about why window treatment shopping sucks. Yes. Why is window treatment shopping the kind of thing that just makes you want to, hyperventilate into a bag? We're going to talk about it next week. So bring your window treatment shopping questions with you. And if I can answer you, I'll be happy to. It has been wonderful spending this time with you. You cheered me right up. I was in such a crabby mood after trying to learn this new rendering program, which Now I realize I got to still learn. But anyway, it was great to be here with you lovelies, and love hearing what's on your gorgeous designing mind. Check out that course, Decorating Genius, if you're not already aware of it, or check out the free workshop if that's more your thing. Love seeing you, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.